Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and let's talk about micro-celebrities on YouTube, okay? One of my biggest inspirations for people like Angry Video Game Nerd, Nostalgia Critic, people that would produce, relatively high-quality videos for their time, still to this day, and they would review video games, movies, and whatnot. See, these guys were from a time almost 20 years ago at this point, okay? Not 20 years ago, but 10 to 20, okay? Almost 2 decades. And these were some of the first people on the internet as micro-celebrities. See, back in the day, it was kind of baffling to think that you could upload videos on the internet and make money out of them and sustain a living, let alone an entire business even in some people's cases. Obviously, YouTube has evolved to the point where some of the biggest celebrities in the world are starting to come from here or TikTok or other places. People that are known internationally by millions, if not billions. But of course, Boogie2988 was one of those people that was there in the beginning. Now, everyone falls off the internet. It's not uncommon. I think being lucky enough to do this in the first place is already the reward. Obviously, nobody's a Simpsons or Family Guy and lasts forever. But Boogie is one of those cases where not only has he fallen off, but he's cratered to the center of the goddamn planet. And it's all because Boogie himself is a liar, Boogie himself is a manipulator, and he's somebody that I think is probably one of the most awful peoples on this platform. And the reason why I'm saying it is because Boogie has had a history of contradictions, of lies, of manipulating his fans into thinking that he's this broke, financially crippled individual, when in reality, he's just too scared of giving up the life of luxury that he currently still clings on to, just so that he can hold on just a little bit longer. And we'll actually come in through a lot of contradictions through this video. It's going to be long, so sit back, relax, grab a cup of coffee, and talk about it. One of the reasons why I'm even talking about it too is because Boogie's the kind of guy that during discussions, he'll just start messaging my wife, which absolutely still disgusts me to this day. For the last 48 hours, I've still been pretty mad about that, but we'll get to all that in a little bit. One of the catalysts for this is something that Boogie is promoting, his own documentary, The Dark Sad Life of Boogie2988, which is not on his channel, it's on a channel from somebody known as Mike Klum, who has produced this 55-minute documentary pretty much putting Boogie in front of the world, in front of the actual normal audience, and showing that he is somebody that doesn't want to be helped, he just wants to be a professional goddamn victim. So let's actually look through a few highlights of this documentary, and I'll build upon things that I feel need further context. Now, Boogie has a history of financial problems on the platform, and he talks about how he actually only has $2,700 left in his bank account, and his actual mortgage on his home is currently at $183,000, according to when this documentary was filmed. Now, obviously, I'm kind of surprised. I think Boogie should have been able to pay off a $250,000 mortgage from what I understand is $250,000 crib.
Hey, my name is Boogie2988, and this is my $250,000 home.
How he hasn't been able to do that after the amount of money that he's earned on the platform is beyond me. Now, Boogie will say that he didn't really earn a lot of money on the platform.
Right. So in 2 or 3 months, you made as much as I made off 17 years on the platform to some degree. Like as much as I was able to save after everything, right? And I never made the kind of money you guys think I did because I just struck my fame way too early on the platform and the money wasn't there back then. The money's there now, but it wasn't then. I've never made 70 or 1,000. You know what my biggest monthly paycheck on YouTube was? Not including sponsors, about $17,000. Including sponsors, the most I ever made in a month was about 30K.
So this is how to catch a contradiction 101. When Boogie just claimed that he made $30,000 with sponsors on his best month, even if you took the annual earning, like you multiply that by 12, which you should never do. Obviously, your peak month is your peak month. You're going to have off months. But again, if you went with the most utopian earning model, you would look at $360,000 pre-taxed. According to this documentary, which again, he gave the producer Mike Klum full access to his financials, allegedly, 2018, he made $498,000 US dollars. So again, putting that up with his income, putting that up with the mortgage that he had on his house, it should have been paid for. Because ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest here, okay? It's insane. This person has seen such a massive earnings drop-off in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, that he should have absolutely accounted for some serious rumbling in his financials. Maybe this is when you should have started downsizing. But then, let's see what Boogie is careful on spending money in. According to this documentary, he has spent over $200,000 on escorts, basically sugaring. Sugaring, if you don't know, is the act of basically finding women online who have a financial relationship with you. You take them out on nice dates, you buy them nice things, and there's an expectation of sexual reward at the end of it for the person doing the purchasing. The sugar daddy and the sugar baby relationship. So again, this is what this guy spends his money on. His financial ruin was caused because he believes he should be able to fuck LA 10s instead of the Arkansas 8s, as he claims in that documentary. But again, this is just Boogie and how he views the people around him. He doesn't look at relationships like a normal human being. He looks at a relationship in the same sense of like a pure transaction. And when it comes to his money, he is his own destructive person on that regard. He had the money. He threw it all away. One of the most egregious things in this situation is him admitting to throwing his life and money away in cryptocurrency. So listen to this part from the documentary. It's baffling.
Money comes in, money goes out. For the longest time, my ex-wife handled that shit, but then I got divorced. I don't know where my money is. I don't know what it's doing. The only thing I've ever done with it is I threw it into crypto and then lost a shitload of it. Well, here's everything. If you want to see, there's 2,000.
So he starts with $750,000 apparently sitting in liquid savings. He puts basically all that money into cryptocurrency because he had a friend known as McJuggernuggets at the time, according to him, where he actually talked about putting money into cryptocurrency. So this nearly 50-year-old man thinks that putting money into the most volatile fucking currency is a smart choice. Now again, this is the guy that bragged to people that he actually is crypto rich all of a sudden, right? Like one day he's like, I'm finally rich. How crypto made me rich. Listen to this one.
It was a very stupid, risky maneuver, but I invested pretty much everything I had into cryptocurrency, and I pulled it out a couple of times and I put it back in a couple of times. So I probably didn't do as well as I could have, but I invested all the way back here, and yeah, that's where we currently are with that market. So to say that I doubled my money is an understatement. In fact,
All right, so he literally admits to just straight up gambling his money, and he won for a little bit too. Now, instead of pulling that money out, he just basically let it fester and turn into nothing overnight. Now, anybody could tell you that putting money into cryptocurrency, such a volatile currency, was a stupid decision anyways. But Boogie actually won and still lost. Now, Boogie made a video a year after that where he said, I need your help, where he actually had to go around and tell people, yeah, I lost all my money, and I might have to go, oh God, get a fucking job? Oh no, how dare that? Listen to this one.
I feel good. I feel good. And I'm excited to do it again. The bad reason is I'm finally in a position where I have to get back to work. And I'm not making any excuses here. You know I spent a tremendous amount of money on dumb things.
Hookers.
But the biggest issue is that I had a nice big nest egg. I took some financial advice from a friend, and I'm not pointing fingers necessarily. I took the advice.
I'm not pointing fingers. A friend of mine suggested I invest everything into crypto. Okay? So you're not pointing fingers, but you just did. Like, see, that's the level of hypocrisy that I like to call out in this situation because he's just guilty of so many points of that.
But I put my money in the crypto market in the wrong section, and I pretty much lost most of everything. That sucks. That really sucks. It is what it is, though. I mean, like, I've come to terms with.
And yeah, you might be wondering, oh my God, should I feel bad for this situation? No, because even after losing all of that money, Boogie still has money saved over from those losses. That $30,000 something worth of crypto, according to his account, it actually exists in his balance as an asset. Now, even after losing all of that money, Boogie still apparently has $30,000 in assets remaining in cryptocurrency. Now, I looked up the average salary of his state, which apparently is Arkansas, $48,000 a year, okay? To give you an idea, most people don't have $30,000 in their savings at any given moment because the cost of living these days is so fucking high that you earn the money right now yearly and all of it goes to bills, all of it goes to sustaining yourself. People live paycheck to paycheck. And yet Boogie here has still $30,000 left in a shitcoin that he can cash out at any given moment and start using that money to rebuild his life. Nobody is telling Boogie to stay in a house that he cannot afford. Boogie talks about paying off this mortgage of his that's apparently like it's a $250,000 house. Apparently his mortgage still on the house, according to the documentary, is somewhere around $165,000. Now what's insane is in this own documentary, Boogie will admit his actual annual income in 2018 alone was nearly $500,000 US. How this guy didn't pay off his house but decided to put that money into an entire gamble, literally, it's like going to a goddamn casino, putting your entire life savings all on black, and expecting people to care about you when you've lost it all. Dog, you caused all of your life's problems. You cannot guilt trip your audience into caring about your finances, your well-being, when you just gamble it all away like a child. He could downsize his life. He could get rid of the house, move to an apartment with 2 rooms. After all, you've only got you and a girlfriend. You can have 1 room for your YouTube stuff, 1 bedroom, and your living room, where is the center of your life apparently. You can put your TV in, your soundbar, your video game consoles. There is no shame in cutting down your life. It's like this. If I can't afford my house, I'm never gonna actually guilt trip you guys on a YouTube video and tell you guys, yeah, I really wish I could stay in my house. And, you guys better start donating money to like live streams, or, you better start buying some merch. No, I'm gonna have to go out, find a way to make money on my own and sustain the lifestyle I live in. And if I have to downsize, there is no shame in that. People do it. Businesses do it all the time. It's okay to cut back and reevaluate where you are in your life when your financial situation changes. Boogie refuses to do it because at the core, this person is a man-child that refuses to actually take accountability for his own actions and pivot his life accordingly. Instead, he'll point fingers at everybody else instead of himself and do anything worth changing. It's like the fast food stuff. This man has the option to change his life for the better. He refuses to do so, so what does it matter anymore? Now, according to this documentary, Boogie has a lot of health problems. Obviously, he's a big guy. He's going through a lot of confirmed medical diagnoses, according to this documentary. Now, a lot of these medical diagnoses, I've talked to my wife, who's a medical professional, my father, who's also a medical professional, have told me that a grand majority of these cases can simply be avoided or reversed had he decided to lose the weight. This is one of the most important things for Boogie where it comes to weight loss, an actual goal that he has never managed to bring across to the table. He has went through a gastric bypass that he himself has admitted to completely fail, and one of the reasons why he chooses to constantly fail his aspect of weight loss is because even in this own documentary, Boogie is out there constantly feeding himself with fast food. I swear to God, in this documentary, he's probably eaten McDonald's and Taco Bell like 3 goddamn times. It's no joke. He is just going out of his way to hurt himself. These are things that anybody can avoid, but Boogie refuses to do so because he, again, prefers to be a victim. Again, he doesn't want to be helped. He doesn't want to make even the tiniest things that could change his decrepit lifestyle for the better. He just wants you to feel bad for him. And that's one of the reasons why I don't care. If he doesn't want to get better, why should I care that he wants to get better? I can hope, but it doesn't mean that I should necessarily be putting in any of my mental strength into it. It's just manipulative for the fans to constantly be reminded, I want to change, while doing literally nothing to make your fucking life better at all. Now, in this entire documentary, one of the most insulting parts is when Boogie actually sits down with this interviewer, this recruiter, and purposefully, in my opinion, screws up this interview where at least they were telling him to go get a job. Because if you can't make money through YouTube, start getting a job.
I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife, and I'm also a pedophile. Should mention I'm also a felon.
Okay. What's the nature of your felony?
Like, she knows that he's not here seriously, and I think that kind of just settles in. But listen to what she says. Absolute bang-on advice.
I don't think it's impossible, but you have some challenges.
Yeah.
Lots of things in life are about your mindset, and you're using weight and disability. I can't. If that is the attitude that you're going to have when you approach everything, then you can't, and you won't.
And he will never. And she's absolutely right. He always wants to play the victim, and that's what it comes down to. So, of course, after this entire documentary, the problem is he goes to Mike Clem and tells him that he's not going to get a job. And listen to exactly why. Listen to this shit. Because he couldn't get corporate approval because of his armed felony nature.
I know we're making this documentary and everything, and I know you think I need to get a real job, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to. I'm not going to walk into some job when I have 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm one of the original YouTubers. What I'm going to do instead is go back to making content, go back to telling stories and entertaining people and making money doing it.
Dude, what is this? Why would I walk in and get some job? As if that's a dirty fucking word. Why does he say it like that? Yeah, I'm an OG YouTuber. I've got 4 million subscribers. 99% of them do not watch the fucking videos, okay? Your subscriber burn rate is as high as crypto's burn rate too. You are looking at 99% losses. Instead of trying to beat your head against a wall and guilt trip the audience and produce content that, by the way, is inferior to 99% of videos released on this platform to this day. Boy, there's a whole lot of 99%. He refuses to get a job, looks at it as like it's some dirty word, and decides to revive his YouTube channel, which he really hasn't. He's gotten an uptick in views because of videos like mine, like Charlie's, like H3H3 covering him, this documentary, but because Boogie is not naturally an entertaining individual, all right, at least in my opinion, and because he refuses to actually put any effort into anything that he does, it's going to be short-lived. And if people find that mean, I'm sorry, it's the fucking truth.
My health insurance is $800. I have $500 worth of medical bills. I have $500 worth of utilities. I pay for doctor's visits, physical therapies, labs constantly. I still have to pay for the car that I drive. I still have to pay for car insurance. I still have to pay for health insurance. Diablo 4 came out. I had to buy it. Final Fantasy 16 came out. I had to buy it. Tears of the Kingdom came out. I had to buy it.
Hold on there, bucko! Diablo 4 came out. I had to buy it. Tears of the Kingdom came out. I had to buy it. Dog, these are what we call luxuries, okay? You don't need to buy any fucking video game, Boogie, because let me tell you something right now. If you can't afford luxuries, then you need to start downsizing your life. Again, if he can't afford this $2,000 mortgage, consider moving down to an apartment, renting somewhere else. Then you could have the money to buy Diablo 4 or Tears of the Kingdom or Final Fantasy 16. Point is, cut down your life, okay? Do not put this onto the audience. It's insane how this man can complain about financial irresponsibility when he's sitting in front of these shitty one-up arcade machines from Walmart that actually have no resale value, in my opinion, whatsoever. This man is surrounding himself with toys and video games as if he's like a child, okay? Like as if he's like a kid at the Rockefeller Center going into like one of the big toy stores. Dog, downsize your life, sell off your shit, and live normally, okay? There is no shame in that. But again, Boogie refuses to do it. In fact, in his mind, he feels almost entitled to these luxuries. No one is entitled to anything. You should feel lucky that you're in a luxurious lifestyle, especially when you can't even afford it. And this isn't the only case of Boogie doing this. Obviously, he has a history of trying to purchase these extravagant luxuries. Like, there was a saga related to a Tesla Model X, one that I'll let Boogie explain a little bit too.
For $33,000. I ended up buying the X, Curfew.
He ended up buying the X. The Model X is the most expensive luxury SUV from Tesla Automotive, which again is their highest price product, okay, especially when you go speccing it out, which I don't think Boogie bought the plaid version of the Tesla. But again, this man is pitching the idea of buying a luxury SUV in front of his audience when apparently his actual financial status, according to him, doesn't reflect it.
I still haven't got it fully financed yet. I'm having to finance it, obviously. I can't spend $100,000 in a day. That would be insane, right? But I am financing it, okay? And so he's like, Boogie, how many fans are going to end up buying a Model S because of you? And I'm like, okay, all right, that's fair. He goes, what if we put 10 more cars on the road? Think about the impact you're making in the world when we put 10 more cars on the road. I'm like,
Yeah, this is probably some of the dumbest stuff that I heard, and I wanted to add it in for a bit of comedy relief. Anytime you come across the most degenerate car salesman like this, you run, okay? First off, adding 10, 20 more cars on the street is not offsetting the fucking carbon pollutions that making those Teslas, in my opinion, are going to cause. And also, I don't think anybody in your audience is also going out to buy another luxury executive sedan because they're watching Boogie drive his Model X. Anyways, the point of this was Boogie has a history of constantly being financially stupid and putting that onto the audience. And when you start mentioning things like this and you start mentioning, oh, I can't spend $100,000 in a day, there is an element of, in my opinion, guilt tripping that sort of passes on to the audience as well, too. But again, we're going to leave that over there. I think I've covered his money situation way too much, okay? And I think, honestly, it's more than he deserves because he doesn't care about changing it, and that's pretty much what it comes down to. If he doesn't care about making his life better, it is what it is. Now, obviously, some of you all will remember that Boogie had an issue with an individual known as Frank Hassel, where he actually fired a gun right into the air, which caused him to actually be in some serious legal troubles that cost him a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of that could have been avoided had Boogie not brought that on himself. Listen to this clip right now. This is an interview that he had on Drama Alert with Frank Hassel, where it actually sounds so fucking unhinged, I couldn't make this up if I tried.
This is status quo for me. So show the up, and let me show you how I handle status quo.
Why do you keep threatening to shoot me? This is weird.
Because I'm going to kill you and take pleasure doing it. That's because I'm going to kill you. I'm going to take pleasure.
The fuck up. Go eat your cane.
Okay.
You need to chill, bro.
You're less than 4 miles away from me last night. You can't drive 4 miles. You can't drive 4 miles to actually.
So Boogie, while being visibly scared for his life, apparently enough that he had to respond to the door with a firearm when the other party didn't have a gun, was literally telling that party to come to his house, meaning that even if he had castle doctrine, he couldn't get through it. He couldn't actually make it valid. He invited the problem to his house. You cannot invite somebody to your premises and then threaten to shoot them. That is not how castle doctrine works, okay? That's not even how hassle doctrine works. But again, a lot of these problems Boogie causes on himself because he's impulsive and he doesn't think about it. Now, recently, Boogie has entered a relationship with a girl that is, I guess, 20 while he's 49 or 50. And it's a very, very massive age gap. Now, obviously, I'm not here to get on somebody's ass about a perfectly legal relationship. I want to remind everyone, when you're over the age of 18, you can date an 80-year-old, okay? At the end of the day, that's the law. But the law is not always ethical. And obviously, for people who sit down and look at these relationship dynamics, people are going to be creeped out. Now, in private group chats and private DMs, some of them which have been leaked, I have been in those DMs calling Boogie a weird person, okay? Not spreading rumors, I've just been calling it weird behavior. And that's because I think this is weird behavior. Boogie's girlfriend that he's been touting off is 20 years of age, obviously far more junior to him, and she doesn't appear to have a lot of life skills, obviously a lot of life, I guess you could say, experience, and their relationship was built on something known as trauma bonding. A trauma bond, which according to this situation, follows a cycle and rests on an imbalance of power. Leaving an abusive relationship usually isn't as simple as walking out the door. The emotional attachment known as a trauma bond develops out of a repeated cycle of abuse, devaluation, and positive reinforcement. It's only natural to develop a bond with someone who treats you with kindness. Many abusive relationships begin with a shower of affection and assurances of love. These attempts to manipulate often succeed since you remember the early days of a relationship. Now, I assume that Boogie is not referring to that type of trauma bonding. I think they literally are referring to the fact that, obviously, both of them have been through rough situations in life, and by sharing it, by being comfortable with one another, that's how their relationship is built up off. Now, obviously, for most people who look into this, they might think that this is very creepy. A nearly 50-year-old man is somehow finding a lot of trauma bonds with somebody that isn't even old enough to legally drink. And it's not just me saying it, right? You've got a bunch of people in the comment sections to his own videos going, Boogie, I really do think you took advantage of her. She clearly has her own issues, and it's sad because I've met people like her in my past life. I'm 29 years old and I know the signs of someone like her who only in her early 20s would date someone your age. We all know she didn't have a best life and you're just using it for your videos. It's disgusting. No, I don't think you care about her or try to help. If I were her actual friend, I would tell her to get the hell out of this weird situation and find someone who can really care about you and help you. And of course, if you look in the actual video that Boogie posts, by the way, on his own channel, it gets downright depressing. So listen to this.
Sorry, I'll repeat all that. What was the question? So if he cheated, I'm not gonna break up with him because I love him and it's gonna hurt, yeah. We're gonna talk about it. But I know at the end of the day he loves me, so. To see him with, to see Boogie with another woman, it would hurt and it would make me jealous, but I'd get it.
What? Listen, ladies, if you ever feel that it's okay for a guy to cheat on you, get the fuck out of that relationship. Cheating is never okay. Simple as that. And that's one of the problems that I think is with this girl, okay? She obviously is very, very, very young, and she's very much into this life with a person that is far more older, very, very unhealthy, and according to his own statements, is literally on the verge of dying. There's a point in the Mike Lum documentary where he sits down with the girl, explains his life situations, and basically she starts crying down. Now, obviously, I think in some way that's a little bit emotionally manipulative.
I really want you to understand how actually sick I am. Like, I don't know if you actually get it, but this is my health summary. This is everything that's currently wrong with me. My risk for stroke or heart attack is astronomical. I am essentially a walking time bomb. And I'm so fucking sorry for that. I really, really wish I had taken better care of my body.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, how can you sit somebody down and talk about your life problems, your health issues, and they start crying? How do you think they're going to walk away? They obviously are with you because in their mind, they think you're on your fucking deathbed. And it's really shitty to leave somebody behind when they're literally dying, okay? There is a lot of weird dynamics in this relationship that make me cringe, and most of the world can see that. How Boogie, the narcissist that he is, well, I guess that explains it, puts this video up and thinks that it makes him look in a good light is actually beyond me and baffling. Now, to go back to the leaked conversations that I had with other YouTubers about this situation, I firmly stand by and believe this is creepy. Boogie's response to that is making it appear as if I made this a public, matter-of-fact statement. I did not. In fact, if anything, I kept it pretty much quiet until Boogie decided to prod the bear in public and pretty much tell me that I was fabricating shit. So I basically say I didn't fabricate anything. I didn't talk about this. Other YouTubers asked me about this. They might have fabricated it, but that's on them. If somebody asks me what I think about your weird relationship, I'm going to say it like any other person my age does. You're creepy. You're manipulative. You're weird. I don't think it's built on good intentions. What does Boogie do to prove that this girl that I don't even know is over the age of 18? He will literally send me her identification. Now, I find it so odd that Boogie is talking to a girl and is with her, is in love with her, and just happens to have her ID on his phone at the fucking ready beck and call to send to some random over the internet. Do you not care about her safety? Do you not worry that, oh shit, I'm sending this image to YouTubers who could maybe get hacked? I don't know. Their DMs could get leaked. And then, by nature, even her ID could get leaked. Why am I sending this image to random people on the internet that I don't really know? It's fucking weird that he does this. And I feel bad for this girl because she lets it happen. It's just weird. It's really fucking weird. Now, that's where I'm pretty much going to leave this girl ad. I don't really want to add more trauma into her life or bring her more up into a public spectacle like she already has. But I'm just pointing these things out because I, like most people, find it creepy. Now, to whittle on back to Boogie's contradictions, one of the things in his expense sheet he listed, and this is, again, how you figure out a Boogie contradiction. He will constantly be a manipulative liar and change facts literally in minutes, seconds, hours, days, weeks. Inside this documentary, he mentions how much money he made on a fight he had with Wings of Redemption, all the way out in London.
Watch the way he hits my head. My brain got shocked with each one of those. It's ricocheting against my skull.
So since you guys were here last, I did have a bit of a windfall, which bought me some time here in this house. The problem with that is I spent more than $10,000 getting that fight together. So by the time all that was done, all I did was put that $10,000 back into savings.
Now, for this fight, he was paid $10,000. I asked Keemstar, he said $11,000 because apparently they paid for his lab work to get sanctioned for the fight. Now, inside this list, he mentions boxing lessons around $1,500. Now, this is where it gets really wild. So listen to this.
Walked into that thing knowing the only.
Dude, you were talking about you had boxing training and shit. I'm like, I can't afford boxing training. I'm gonna have to fucking be out here under the shed.
Yeah, you know what my boxing training was? I fought a drunk friend down in Dallas, Texas.
Apparently, he either paid $1,500 to his drunk friend to fight him in Dallas, Texas. Is that $1,500 in boxing lessons? I don't know. What the fuck? But here, listen to this one real quick.
Punch strength. My technique is terrible, but he's not working with a boxing trainer either, so I don't think either of us is going to have technique.
What's that? He also doesn't have a trainer as well, too. See, these are little contradictions that one can pick up. Now, that contradiction came from my wife's podcast, The Real Weird Sickos, where she invited Boogie to talk about this situation, amongst a whole litany of other things. And this is where it gets really hilarious. Boogie is a guy that says, I'm over. I'm done with drama. And that video was posted like, what, 9 days ago? Yeah, in reality, Boogie is not done with anything like it. Boogie decides to basically keep mentioning me by name on his social media feeds, acting like I'm spreading weird rumors and whatnot. Now, my wife will defend me. She will just say, hey, your whole life is a walking set of contradictions. Now, I don't like to publicly engage with Boogie because he constantly says that I'm punching down, even though if you talk shit on the internet, you will definitely get hit. I actually DM'd him privately and told him, listen, if you don't want to make this a public thing, why are you constantly spreading up misinformation? Why are you just lying? Why are you just constantly being weird about this? And Boogie decides to send me an entire list of words. And obviously I said in my piece, I really just said, hey, listen, I don't really need to dredge anything up. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. I don't want to bother making a video. And I'm not really looking forward to it either, just because there's a whole lot of other things that I could cover. I am driving. Let me paint the scene here. I'm driving home from New York, okay? You got my wife with me, I got me. And I don't respond to anything. 20 minutes later, next to my phone, my wife's phone starts blowing up. And lo and behold, I see Boogie mentioned on here. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this sends me into a bit of a rage because I find it so weird that the moment I don't respond to you, the next person you're hitting up is my wife about this situation. Obviously, it upsets me, it upsets her, it upsets people. We think it's weird, okay? Boogie crosses a personal boundary, and he decides to ask my wife, even mentions if I'm triggered or not. Yeah, I'm not triggered at you, I'm just triggered at the fact that you start reaching out to my friends and family. It's just a line you don't cross. Now, Boogie will claim that he doesn't know who my wife is, like, oh, you just picked a random one account that is actually, like, the spouse of the creator that you're mad at. You know, the person that has anniversary photos of us on the internet. But also, funniest fact about it too, you were on her show. So this is why lying comes so naturally to this person too. He doesn't really care. He just lies about any fact. Facts that can be immediately countered. But of course, one of the wildest things about the end of this entire documentary is when he promotes drug usage. 47 minutes in to get out of this documentary, Mike records Boogie at this shaman, weird as fuck by the way. The shaman gives him psychedelic mushrooms, and this is his way to like apparently reset his mind. Now, I'm just going to start off by saying that drug usage is obviously not something anybody should be promoting. If you are going through a lot of mental and physical issues, don't do fucking drugs. If you are going through financial problems, don't do drugs, okay? Boogie is not being taken care of by anyone licensed in the medical field. He's just going into the forest and doing fucking drugs with randoms. And this is where, again, Boogie refuses to take life into his own hands. Instead of downsizing his financials, he decides, I'm just gonna pick up an incredibly expensive hobby like mushrooms and go off with it. Well, Boogie, It doesn't work that way, son. And that's pretty much where we're going to end it at, okay? Yeah, real good message to end off on. Hey, your guys' life is all messed up? Try using some mushrooms. Hey, maybe combined with some therapy and some other pseudoscience crap, it could work. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much where I want to end it at. I know that I've been harsh in this video, and I probably could have been harsher, but honestly, Boogie is so, I guess you could say, Boogie is such a, I guess you could say, manipulative character that being mad over him is just not worth it, okay? I know that a lot of other creators are still getting mad over this day because Boogie refuses to do even the minor things to make his life better. The only thing that makes me angry in this situation is the manipulation he puts to his fans. Look, I'm just going to say it like it is. We are all lucky to be making the videos that we are making and making even a dime off of it. Boogie had a great career at one point. He squandered it, threw it away, and I think what's the most insulting in this is he refuses to take care of his physical health, he refuses to downsize and get a job, and to this day, he will continuously bumble his head through YouTube, through burning whatever bridges he may have remaining. He is a consistent, pathological liar. He is an individual that is, I guess, I'm not a psychologist, but he appears to be the biggest narcissist on the platform. He is somebody that does not care about any consequence. He has caused everything bad to happen in his own life. And all he wants is for you to sit down, fucking cry and feel bad for him. Well, don't feel bad, because Boogie could easily change his life around. But he refuses to. He refuses to eat better. He refuses to downsize and make his financial situation lighter. And instead of, working hard, he decides to chuck $700,000 into a fucking volatile cryptocurrency asset and thinks that's somehow a great idea. Oh shit. He actually won in that, by the way, and refused to cash it out like a smart person and start building off of it. Absolute wild behavior. But yeah, how Boogie thought this documentary could paint him in a good light is beyond me. But ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much where we're going to leave it at. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it. I am out.